I'm so excited about our guests today. They're my first married duo on the show. Please help me introduce Aesthetic PA, Gustavo and Karen.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go. Hey guys, how are you guys today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, so I always like to start off by asking my guests, how has things been this year for you guys? Like in general, like mentally, like how has things been for you guys?
I'll start off. I think it has been great compared to the last few years, right? We were all inside our homes and kept away. Now we're out and about. And I think it's a lot better mentally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think as far as going through COVID and surviving COVID as a business, as a professional or an injector, it has been a time to redesign yourself from different angles, from a business perspective, from just strategizing how to improve the business, and also the craft, like perfecting your craft. So it's been a very interesting journey of how to improve things, how to change things, how to make them better.
Nice. That's amazing. Now, you guys are both physician associates, as they call them now.
Yeah.
Tell me, why did you choose that maybe over a nurse practitioner? How did you guys get into being PAs?
Well, I went to school 18 years ago. I've been practicing for 16.
Amazing.
And I think at that point in time, the closest thing to being a doctor, or as far as the type of training that you receive, was to become a physician associate. So I have family members that are doctors, and in that situation, I wonder what can I do that would be the most similar or closest to it. And I looked into the career track of the PAs and decided that was the best fit for me.
Amazing.
For me, it was interesting. I went the business route first. I did my business degree, and then after that, after I met Gustavo, I didn't know what a PA was. And when he introduced me to it after I finished my career in business, I decided to go ahead with PA school. It was something that I wanted to do.
Super cool. Now, you guys both leave PA school and you guys get into aesthetics, and I'm sure having a business degree, that probably had to help out a lot. How hard was it starting your own business and working together?
Well, I think one of the main things is that we both understand each other from a clinical angle, from the safety, how to be safe with patients, what to look for. We have formal training. In terms of the training that you receive, it's so important because you have to understand anatomy, but then her angle is she understands business too. So it just complements each other. You know, I give her an idea, she runs off with it from a business side, she tells me an idea, and maybe we get creative in that sense. So we support each other. Always looking out for safety, for outcomes, making sure that patients are happy. But at the end of the day, it complements each other. So that's like the beautiful thing of being two clinicians, having amazing training, and also, I guess, supporting each other to be even better.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Like you said, that the business background definitely hurts. It doesn't hurt because it. I think a lot of clinicians maybe don't know, or people that go into business, into the aesthetics world, is the business side. It's easier to have the practice, the anatomy down, but if you don't know the business, it gets a little tricky.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I get a lot of calls from injectors that are looking to kind of step out on their own. They've been working in the field for multiple years, and they just don't know if it's the time or not. What are maybe some challenges or hurdles you can tell them being business owners yourself?
That's a great question.
There's so many angles. If somebody wants to begin the aesthetic journey, they have to, number one, have a passion for it. It's not just the money involved. There is a lot of trial and error. involved with social media, with marketing, buying products, what are the best materials, where you can buy them, so where are the vendors, and
Mm.
of course relating and knowing the community. Like the aesthetic community is a small community, but it's a very interesting community because once you get to know each other and you build a reputation, those individuals are going to be your peers. Those individuals are going to teach you. You're going to be able to teach them as well. So there's a lot of support that can be done, especially when you're beginning. So relating yourself to individuals is very important. Knowing where the trainings are or where you can train is also very important. But I think the best thing is for somebody to have a clear mind, have a passion for it, and then of course just going for it, like
Mm.
investing in themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the most important things to have in mind if you are thinking to go into the aesthetics is like you said, passion, but also keeping in mind that this is an investment,
Mm.
right? In other practices, as a clinician, internal medicine, even ER, urgent care, you can go with the knowledge that you already have. In aesthetics, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different specialty, and you have to make sure that you know what you're doing and slowly grow into it. It's not something that you're gonna go into and make $500,000. It's not. So having that very clear in your mind and knowing that this is an investment that you have to make on yourself, it's important.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And so many people, I think I'm glad that you guys said what you said because so many people want to start their own business and things of that nature, but they're a little confused on what it really takes, and it takes all that hard work that you just said and perseverance and things of that nature. Working so hard, I know, especially in a new business, how do you prevent burnout or, how do you kind of work with that work-life balance?
Burnout, as far as there's always a moment where you kind of want to push yourself really hard
Yeah.
and you're working different angles. So I think to give somebody advice, it's kind of like there's a journey involved
Yeah.
of where do you start, what meeting do you go to, practicing the craft, getting your injections, learning about cannulas. So many products coming out. It's not hard to keep track of them, but which are the best products for your clientele?
Yeah.
What kind of ethnicities you're dealing with, and then going into the business side. And then she could definitely go into that angle a lot more. But there's a lot of trial and error. Like if you're an introvert or an extrovert and you like social media, you don't like social media, well then, um, like getting used to that, and it just comes with the business. And one of the harder parts I think is the products. There's so
Yeah.
many companies nowadays, and there's a big portfolio that it involves understanding how these products work and um, knowing when to choose the right product for somebody just makes a big difference. How to inject, the techniques, and then at the end, it's being safe. So you're always looking for the beautiful results, but then being safe as an injector is just crucial. So I think there's like a big journey. There's so many angles, but the balance comes in taking time off, taking time to sleep, taking time to exercise, taking time to
Mm.
meditate, taking time to spend with your family members, maybe go on a vacation, vacation, things like that. So
Yeah.
that's just a little bit of time of reflection. You have to do that on your own too.
Nice.
Yeah. One thing, obviously we work together every day. When we come home,
Mm.
having your own business can be a good thing, but also can be a hard thing because you go home and you're constantly talking about business
Hmm.
and throwing ideas and here and you're eating and this and this client. One of the biggest things we have decided to do at home is when we get home, that's it.
Hmm.
We leave it at home. That's very important because that's finding that balance between knowing, okay, we have a responsibility, but there are boundaries. Setting those boundaries are so important to your mental health, and especially being in a relationship that we're together all day with business and dealing with patients and everything. So finding that balance to be together and continue that, and still having fun.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm sure it takes time too. And I'm sure it doesn't happen overnight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I always like to talk about like mindfulness tips and things that people can do and actually take away from the podcast and use. Is there any podcasts or is there any things that you guys do to release stress?
That's a great question. So, things that we love to do is we love to go bike riding.
Nice.
And we enjoy doing that. We go out for walks with our doggy. We love watching movies and spending time with our friends. Those are the things that.
So yeah,
like
we
to do.
just, I guess we try to invest time in the things that we really appreciate. The occasional concert, the movies,
Nice.
theater games, just like we try to keep it balanced. But I think lately we have set, like she was saying, limits. To give it time to meditate, to exercise, and then just not talk about the business. But it's kind of unavoidable. You end up talking about the business all the time. So it's just one of those things that it just happens. And then we're just very conscious and we catch ourselves, and then we catch ourselves and then we stop. And that's kind of like what we do.
Nice, nice. Sounds good. It sounds healthy. I like that. Amazing. What are some trends that you guys are seeing right now in the industry? It could be in your practice or just things that you suggest to your patients that are good right now.
As far as procedures,
Mhm.
so there's a lot of different advanced techniques when it comes to injections, and I think just not so much of a trend, but understanding how to inject, how to do a full facial balancing, how to analyze somebody's skin. So taking them from like the whole journey, not just one injection or not just Botox or one filler. I think it's very important to just understand their history. Do they have cancer? Have they had cancer? Do they have a lot of weight loss? Did they go to bariatric surgery? Like what exactly has been happening with their health? And then maybe optimizing every angle that you can think of. So it's not just like one injection at a time. I like to call it a full approach in somebody's life and then taking them through that journey slowly. Some people are quicker, but some people you're gonna have to take it a little bit slower with them. And then understanding the psychology of how the products will interact, the outcomes that they can have, and dealing with these things is important. So I think the Q&A, the initial interview has to be very complete, not so much of a trend, because trends can be short-lasting. And like I'll give you an example, like Russian lip flips are trends that some people learn about them. It's good to learn about them, but it doesn't necessarily give you maybe the best results, or it doesn't give you necessarily long-lasting results. So you do have to be careful with trends. Or devices too, like something that we talk about a lot are machines, energy devices that are on the field. A lot of cost. Maybe there's a few of those devices, and you have to balance out the cost, the return. Understanding the safety of the devices is important. So there's a little bit of research that we have to do on our own before we consider trends, even if it's a skin product or an intervention. So there's so many things that I would say be aware of trends and make sure it's something that's safe, it's efficacious, and that's going to be good for the client.
I definitely agree with that, and I also have to mention that trends do not apply to everybody, right? We have patients that are younger, between 20s and 30s, and then older, 70s and 80s even. So you have to be careful with this quote unquote trends, because these trends not necessarily apply to all of your patients. So although it's good to be aware of them and know how to do them, you also have to know when to apply them and who they fit best for. Same thing with machines, but I do agree that full facial balancing is the best way to approach a patient, because they appreciate that. They appreciate your knowledge. They appreciate the fact that I like to call us artists. We're not injectors. We see things that most people don't. And even themselves, the patients that come in and talk to us, they don't, oh, I didn't realize that, but that's something that we pointed out. It's not a deficiency, it's not a deficit.
Yeah.
However, it's something that we can improve on, right? Make your facial features or body feature even better.
For sure, for sure. And I love how you guys put that, right? Not following everything, because you get so lost when people want to follow every single trend, everything that comes out, and it's not even effective sometimes.
Okay.
So really like doing the research your own and then presenting it makes long-lasting clientele, honestly.
And then to piggyback on that, when you present somebody with the data,
Hmm.
is completely different than just a trend,
Yeah,
right? Because they believe you as a provider and they trust you.
yeah,
So that's important.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Speaking of trends, on the Instagram everywhere, they have all these celebrity skincare lines. I mean, Kim Kardashian has a new one. I think Pharrell has one. So many people have one. How do you guys view those, and would you ever recommend any of those to your patients?
Oh my God, that opens up a whole Pandora box. But what I can tell you about skincare
Yeah.
is there's a lot of new evidence-based medicine coming into the field. What are the real products? And
Mhm.
then there's a difference between commercial grade and medical grade.
Yeah.
And understanding that commercial grade is what you find at your typical mall, outlet stores, Macy's, for example, is a great example. Everybody knows Macy's. So understanding that commercial grade doesn't really require scientific data, clinical studies.
Mm.
They don't really go in depth into the actual cellular effect. And medical grade skincare actually has a very positive effect. So
Hmm.
we do recommend it. We do believe in medical grade skincare. The quality of it is very, very unique. And I
Hmm.
think that there's not one specific line now. There's a lot of good brands out there. We like to combine them to give somebody the best effect or result. But skincare is definitely um, up there, probably number one, because it doesn't matter how much Botox or fillers or lasers you do, if you don't do a good skincare regimen, you're not going to get anywhere. You know,
Mm.
there's a lot of damage that we get that we acquire from the environment, also from medications. So skincare is definitely up there on the list, and having a good skincare regimen really doesn't take a lot of time. But when you mention the Kardashians or J Lo, for example, um, those are really not medical grade skincare. And unfortunately, we have to be able to educate the patients. We educate the clients consistently and in a very fun way.
Yeah.
I think there's another trend that we see a lot on social media, which is really interesting, is you have 18-year-olds doing skincare routines.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, 18-year-olds don't really have wrinkles. Um, some of them might have a little bit of acne, but they don't really have the full spectrum of sun damage, for example, like
Mm.
melasma, so lenticels and things like that. And I think it's a little bit misleading in that sense of being able to educate our clients on social media trends. The 18-year-old influencer is different, and we just have to clarify that for them. I guess in a very fun way too, because we believe in skincare because we apply skincare. So
Yeah.
we're able to show results to people.
The biggest thing for me is show me the data, right? And all these skincare lines. If there is no data to back it up, there's no way that I can recommend it because I'm not gonna recommend something to my patient that I haven't seen results
Yeah.
from, you know? So that's the biggest thing.
That's so interesting because I know probably like people come in all the time and they're like, I want to look like this celebrity, right? How do you set patient expectations? How do you say, I can't do that. I can't physically make you someone else. I mean, I can highlight what you have, but how do you set that?
I think education.
Okay.
Education is it's a really big part of our job because, like you said, you don't have the physical anatomy. Therefore, I can't give you those results. That's that. And if somebody is telling you that they can make you look a certain way, that's not the right person that you want to be with because they're not giving you correct information or setting the right expectations for you. I think that we can definitely create a masterpiece from being just you, but improving certain things. So education is definitely a big thing for me.
I couldn't really add more to that. I think being authentic and putting the business side apart, we are clinicians first. We're injectors, we are artists, like she was saying, and then just being very honest to the client, setting clear expectations, and also understanding how their products work. Because we're going to be injecting something, or doing something, or implementing a laser or a heat device. We have to be very careful with the expectations. But I think clients really appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
And when you come from a place of honesty and a good intention, I think people really feel that, and they start believing in you. And then of course we give them the information with the data as well. We show them this is what the FDA approved, this is not approved, this is off label, this is what we do in the practice. So and then here's what we can do. And I think one really important thing is understanding your limitations as an injector. So not everybody injects the same way. Not everybody injects the whole face or the whole body. Some people are not trained to inject certain areas. Some people are not comfortable injecting certain areas. So I think that's also that has to come from the injector themselves, and being able to be clear and honest with the clients. Hey, this is not something that I feel comfortable doing. I am not trained to do this, but maybe I can put you in touch with somebody that can, or there's an injector that actually knows how to do that. And maybe saying no for a specific reason, like safety, for example. We're here in the practice, we do threads, but we don't do threads on the eyes. And there's reasons for that. And so we explain them why we don't do them. But yeah, we can do threads in other parts of the face, the neck, the body, and you're going to have a certain type of result. And this is what we expect from that. So we also make decisions where we're thinking about the clients first.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to touch on something that you said earlier about skincare. It definitely is a combo situation, right? You guys are injectors, you focus on that, but then it takes also the upkeep of maybe facials, dermaplaning, other things. How do you know how to, because I'm sure you have a team or you refer out, how do you know how to build a great team, and what's some warning signs you can kind of give the audience on how to build a great team and what to look out for?
I think we look for individuals that have reputation, that they're their word when it comes to delivering. We also do a lot of networking at meetings. We do a lot of networking in congresses. And then we find the people that we feel can give us the information or that we can benefit from. And so that's one of the things that we reach out. We reach out to local community leaders, and of course people reach out to us as well for questions. So sometimes even the pharmaceutical reps who can reach out to us and say, hey, we have a situation where somebody's having a difficulty, or somebody wants to know about this or that, and so we're able to also help. So I think the relationship building is very important, and it takes place locally. It takes place in congresses. And finally, we do have a lot of peers that are not local to us. They're just completely in the opposite part of the United States. And we're able to talk to them because we build relationships. So relationship building for me is really important.
For me, I want somebody that can come into our business and treat it like it's theirs. That's the type of qualities that I want to find on somebody, because I want somebody to care as much as I do for the clients and seek out their best interest. And also, I want somebody that can connect with us, and their personality, their whole being. It's about what do I want them to represent, right? So that's very important for me.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I'm sure that has helped a lot with the hiring and really keeping great staff around, for sure. Now, social media has been huge, right? I know a lot of injectors push their business forward by using Instagram, Twitter, those type of platforms. How has that helped you guys?
I laugh and I look at him. I'll tell you what, because for me it has been one of the most difficult parts. I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I don't do social media. So this actually has gotten me to get out of my bubble and start putting myself in front of the camera and maybe
Nice.
talking and
Like you
not
today.
yeah not something I like to do, but I know that I love people and I can offer a lot, and definitely being yourself and putting yourself out there and showing that to
Yeah,
people.
for sure.
And social media definitely makes a difference, but he's the social media guy.
Well, but we had to do social media. It wasn't really a part of our lifestyle,
Yeah.
but social media is just very important. Social media can build a business, and social media can also destroy a business. So I think if you're doing social media in a positive way, in a way to educate, in a way to promote positive feelings, solidarity, then I think it's a good outlet. At least for us initially, I don't know if you're aware, but I think I mentioned I'm 80% deaf. So for me, talking in social media or doing like Q&As, I'm always wondering, am I pronouncing something? How do I look in the camera? Am I too skinny? I don't even know. So it's very difficult because you can get very self-conscious being on social media. But social media can be so powerful and in a very good way. And so I would say to anybody, social media is something that you can always utilize. To create so many beautiful things. And as far as the business is concerned, there's a lot of trial and error with social media. So at least for us, what works for you might not work for us, but that also has to do with the culture that you want to create and the following. So I guess to wrap it up, as far as social media, it's really important to know what we were discussing is a trend or is this even real? Question it, but then also have fun and build positive things. You're going to attract the clientele that you want, and never be afraid of your age or your ethnicity. Just go for it.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that people that have similar perspectives you're gonna attract them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be your followers. They're gonna be your clients. They're gonna become your friends too.
Nice,
Yep.
nice. Have you guys gotten the TikTok trend yet?
TikTok, we have TikTok.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not the trends.
But the company, we have it, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to touch on something that you said was so important. Constantly when you're on social media videoing yourself, you see stuff that other people don't see, right? And you get so self-conscious about it. I do it at least all the time because I'm always filming. I know so many young people do it all the time, things of that nature. How do you kind of tell a patient, like, okay, it's not there, it's not real, like, I can't move forward? How do you deal with that body dysmorphia?
It's a very interesting question because
Yeah.
it's absolutely real.
Yeah.
And people don't realize how real it is until they actually experience it. I
Yeah.
experience it all the time. But believe it or not, I think in my experience as an injector, I become also a little psychologist in a way because people come to you and they start telling you these things, right, of their life, and some of them they don't, and some of them you just perceive. And it's interesting because when you start to see them and what bothers them, you start to see, well, what is it? Is it that you don't feel good about yourself and we're going to improve these things? But we see beauty from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having patients understand that beauty from our perspective helps them maybe see something different that they don't see in the mirror. And so walking them through that it's how maybe they start to see themselves differently. But we certainly say no to some patients, like, no, that's not going to look good on you.
Yeah.
Or we're not adding that one more lip or, things like that because we know it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's a lot of pressure to look a certain way, and social media has certain applications that when you see them, you can immediately take off a double chin. You can immediately make your lips bigger. You can immediately take out any acne that you have. But that's not the reality. The reality is you have to love yourself the way you are. Period. And the people that are around you, if they don't love you the way you are, they're not your friends. So we teach a lot of like self love. We're very understanding. We're very respectful. But I think we have to be very careful with social media. And to point something that's so important is the celebrities. The
Mm-hmm.
celebrities, it's not just that they have the money to do all these procedures. It's just being honest about it. And if you're honest, hey, I do my lips, I do this machine, I do, fillers, I do Botox, I do whatever it is that you do. Just be honest about it because there's somebody out there who doesn't have the maturity to understand these things. And not only that, but a lot of people that have a lot of money, like celebrities, they're able to like put something in their bodies and then remove it
Yeah.
because they have the resources. And a lot of people don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So we also understand like these are the limitations that we could do. We can work on this, but the realistic goal is this. Or do you need surgery? Well, maybe you need surgery. And we tell them this is what's going to give you the best result, and we will sacrifice that because we know it's the right thing to do. But people have to be very careful. We have to be able to convey that message, and we also have to establish the expectations on the visits.
Mm, that's well put. Very well put. For sure. Now, I get so many providers that reach out to me that are coming from like the hospital or different type of specialties, and I'm like, I really want to get into aesthetics, but I don't truly think they understand the field as a whole. So I wanted to ask you go both. What are maybe give me one con and one benefit of this industry
Oh,
that you can give to a new provider?
that's a
What was the
question.
question again? I
Yeah,
didn't hear that part.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I get so many calls from like people that are coming out from the hospital or
Okay.
maybe working in different specialties and they're looking to join the aesthetic industry. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure they really get the full picture of it. They just, oh, it's exciting. I want to join. So I
Okay.
wanted to give you guys the chance to give me like one con and one benefit that you can give to a new provider coming out of
I can tell you
especially.
one thing. The weekend course is
Yeah.
not gonna help you in jog. I
Okay.
would tell you that is not. It's a starting point.
Yeah.
You have to get started somewhere, but you have to be committed. If you really want to do this,
Mm,
injections, machines, devices, they have pros and cons.
yeah.
So if you overdo something, you can cause a serious consequence.
Yeah.
And you really have to train. You have to go to meetings. You have to do beginners, intermediate, advanced, more advanced. You have to train with peers. You have to practice the craft. And that is something that I think some people don't understand because they just haven't been exposed. We are not trained in medicine to do any of this. Nobody comes to PA school or medical school and says, oh, we're going to do a Botox course. And that's still not enough. So even though it's interesting and fun, you have to really dedicate a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of your resources to become an adapt injector in this field. And that is probably the main thing I can tell you. The weekend does not prepare you. You have to do a lot more than that. You have to be vested in this.
Pro,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful field.
Nice.
I feel like I'm a Picasso. I'm an artist when I'm sitting down in front of a patient and
Yeah.
I can tell them, okay, this is what we can do, and I'm so excited about it. Con, you do, like you said, have to spend a lot of time to become great at something, whatever it is. It takes time. It takes a lot of dedication, and people don't realize this, but money as well, right?
Mm.
Because in order to get to a level where you want to promote yourself as the best or the greatest, you have to invest the money on cadaver courses, on constant courses overall, congresses. So it takes more than just wanting to do it.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. I love how you guys mentioned like artists or Picasso because like even me, when I wanted to get into this industry, the reason that I wanted to get into this industry because I realized that you guys not only have to go to school to become a provider, but not everybody that is a provider can be an aesthetic injector. You have to be skilled, you have to have some type of artistic point of view to really make the person in front of you and translate that image. So that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. How tell me a little bit about some trainings or certifications or even conferences that people can go to because I know you have to keep that up to really be the best in your market.
Absolutely. Well, I can say one of the things we actually just recently went to a meeting, AES, and
Yes.
loved it
Yes.
because it's geared towards advanced practice providers, right? NPs, PAs, RNs. Unfortunately, in Florida, RNs are not able to inject, but it is geared towards us.
Yeah.
So it focuses a lot on what we need as APPs to be able to move forward. So I really like that. Titan Aesthetics, they also have a really nice program that you can take courses, rent out videos that you can take a look, and it's just a little starting point,
Yeah.
really. There is way more aesthetic. Next is actually another one that is really great, and yeah, those are some
I
of
think
them.
for somebody that wants to take advantage, there's a lot of resources online. There's a lot of
Mm.
resources with the pharmaceutical companies that make the products. Like, for example, Galderma, Revenes, for example, Allergan, Merz. I think Merz and Galderma have been probably one of the most supportive companies. And not just like as far as they do a lot of trainings. And you do trainings that they feel are important for you to be a good injector, and they connect you with individuals that have been doing this for years. Having a good relationship with the pharmaceutical companies, it's so important
Mm.
because they will back you up. Not it's not just selling the product; it's understanding that the company is vested in you as an injector.
Mm.
And these companies, Allergan has done quite a few trainings as well. They're amazing. They put you with local, or they put you with people that come out of town, and they really want you to understand the products. They want
Mm.
you to know what the products are. But going from sales to clinical trainings is different. And then one thing that she pointed out is I think everybody that gets into injectables needs to do a cadaver course.
Mm.
Not one every year, one every 2 years, but you have to stay on top of your anatomy because anatomy has different variations. So as far as trainings, there's a lot of virtual, like Titan has an entire curriculum how to prepare you into this field. These are people that reputation. These are people that you can trust. There's individuals, for example, like you, that are also in this field, and you understand what a new injector, intermediate, advanced, and maybe trying to find a niche for these people is so important for individuals like you that have connections. Like you understand the needs of a practice, and the practice might be able to set up trainings as well,
Mm.
so you can further advance. But I think for me during COVID, it was a good time to do a lot of virtual trainings. I wasn't too excited about doing everything virtually because we want to do hands-on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and I did learn so much from top injectors across the world. And I can tell you because sometimes I don't hear the alarms because I'm hard of hearing, 80% deaf. So she was my alarm. And she would wake me up at the weirdest hours, and I would be learning from people in the Middle East, people in Australia, I mean, Netherlands, France, you name it. I was
Wow.
up at 2 or 3 a.m. just learning with these individuals.
Yeah.
So it was a time to explore new horizons. And let me tell you, that was something that I can definitely vouch for somebody. Just be open to other things, not just locally, but there's a lot of local resources. And starting a good relationship with pharmaceutical reps is one of them. Going to the meetings, going to the cadaver courses, and then of course knowing who your opinion leaders are, because these are the people that you're going to be seeing, and they're going to be leaving a trail of education behind. That's so important.
Nice, nice, nice. Now, I always like to add value backs and give information. I think that's the purpose of these for people that are new or inexperienced to get information. Who are some people on Instagram that maybe give out a lot of information that you could suggest providers to follow?
Well, I think there's a few people out there, P.A. Nicola,
Mm,
Jubilin
love
Julie.
them.
Um, there's other that are a little bit more on the straight to the point,
Yeah.
right? Like Injector's always like that, but
Mm,
she brings a lot of great advice. hey, this is bad for you, and this is why it's bad for you. And she doesn't play around. She just tells you how it is. Dr. Shino Bay, Dr. Rajani, from out of the West Coast. There's a lot of different doctors out there that you can follow. I would say that's a starting point, and also Palette Resources is a good angle if somebody just wants to kind of start getting a little bit of an investment. So online is also a good thing. A lot of these injectors are on Palette. A lot of the injectors, like Kevin Harrington, they work with Titan Aesthetics, and I'm sure there's other injectors that you know that might be a good resource for them. So going to websites or going to individuals like you that can guide somebody is also crucial.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Awesome. Give me one highlight of your career so far that you really hold, like that you're really proud of. Just one highlight.
Oh, there's so many. I can't specifically pick one, but for me is giving the mirror to our clients after we've done with a full facial balancing and having them see we put together the before, this is what you came in, this is you now, and they just their facial expression just says it all, and it's almost instant gratification for me.
Nice.
So.
I think for me is how rewarding it is to see somebody when they come back and they're just grateful, knowing it's not just about being vain. It has a lot of psychology to it, and the psychology, when it comes in a positive way back to you as an injector, as a company, as a family, because we're a couple, we're married. It's so rewarding, and it's something that you experience all the time, consistently. Also, we are able to help clients because we have a lot of medical knowledge that we can pinpoint things like, look, that might be a little skin cancer happening. So we're able to help clients and direct them. It's not always about doing things in the office. It's also knowing when to send somebody out and helping them maybe with other medical issues. So connecting the dots and helping them have a better lifestyle and creating, I think that confidence, it's something that is just so rewarding, and we see that all the time. And we love that about the field.
One thing I love the most is when they randomly send us this picture, a selfie. And they just have the biggest smile and like, oh, I look awesome, thank you so much. But you know it's a genuine smile. It's they're so happy to feel like themselves, maybe 10 years younger. That for me is just, we have these awesome patients that randomly just send us pictures. Thank you so much. We look so great. People are telling me that I look 10 years younger, and that to us just, it means the world.
Amazing. Changing lives, literally. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with me, speaking about the aesthetic industry. I'm sure everybody will learn so much and take away so much from this. I want to give you this time to really highlight your business and tell me what you guys offer, where people can find you if they have any questions.
Well, we're on social media, so we are on Aguilar Aesthetics, INC. We're also at aguilaraesthetics.com. That's a webpage. We offer different types of services. We have wellness, we have Botox, excessive sweating, we have jawline contouring, facial balancing. So there's a lot of different things that we do, and it's just one of those things that you have to educate yourself on the provider. I think for us, it's getting to know us and understanding our background, our level of expertise, and also knowing that we are fully certified providers. And that's something also very important that we like to point that out. Make sure that you are actually getting injected by somebody with a license.
Yeah.
And that's something that brings a lot of peace of mind. So yeah, check out our services, look at the before and after pictures, and thank you.
Thank you, guys. And until next time, bye.
Bye.